All right, welcome back. So again, another updated tour on the Total Studio Bundle. So this is really, it keeps on going over these multiple layers of refinements, and some of the refinements are more centered around organizational, and sometimes the refinements are actually centered around either taking sounds out or even adding sounds in. And um, so this new iteration of the bundle includes both reorganization plus some new sounds. So first of all, I'm going to do is go over some of the newer sounds, and then that will maybe perhaps help you understand why I reorganized everything. So in the R synth, um, so first of all, these expansions have an actual memory limit. In other words, it's 4 point whatever gigabytes, okay, of samples we're talking about. And it's not that you could technically have, let's say, um, a 10 gigabyte expansion. Okay, technically you can do that, but when it comes to actually making an installer, that's where the bottleneck actually is. So the actual executable file, as it relates to installing. So, but if I wanted to, and then didn't have to worry about the installation actually making an installer, I could make these expansions as big as I want them. But having said that, the sort of the weakest link of the chain kind of thing, I want to keep everything sort of optimized for doing an actual installation, a proper installation on a Mac or a PC. Because we all know when the new MPC beta gets released this month, that I want these expansions to actually be used and installed properly in the actual software. And these samples and these sounds that you're going to see load within like a millisecond, literally on when you're on the desktop. So it's going to be really cool. Anyway, so the XV pack went over a pretty healthy renovation, and this kind of helped me explain again as to why I moved some stuff around. Okay, so 21 new sounds in the XV sound profile by itself. So let's see if I can get these additions to work. Okay. So and before I go too far, all these sounds are playable from the keyboard. This was a question that I had been asked several times. Are these loops, whatever? These are actual sounds that play like the keyboard would or the module. So if I load this fat wobby, I'm just load it to the current track here. I just hit the button here, and it's going to actually load, and it will play. All right, simple as that. And I'm, if you're not new to the channel, or if you're new to the channel, I'm actually like a Roland head. I've had every single iteration of most of the Roland products. So for example, this is I decided to keep this drum kit actually in the R Synth XV, and this is going to sound like this. All right, had a lot of fun with that. So ring pop again. I actually used to use the sound all the time for the old JVs. This was actually in the 2080 actually. All right. So just enough to sort of give you that type of sound profile. Okay, so that's again, that's the sounds plus including the 21 new sounds that I had added. Now that actually increased quite a bit of memory in the actual pack because you have the LA synth. And so, just simply loading a sound from the D50. So, as you can hear the effects, these were all custom programmed that I did so that when you load the program, the effects actually load as well, instead of just having them being completely dry. Of course, you can change them, you can mute them, you can take them on, turn them on and off and all that. So, okay. So, I used to have sort of a real small profile based off the VSynth, a lot of the custom patches that I had made. And because of the memory constraint, it forced me to make a decision, do I break up the RSynth pack into 2 packs or what? And based on my usage of the VSynth, even though I didn't want to delete them out of the library because I didn't use them a whole lot, I still wanted to have them. So the VSynth, I thought it was pretty appropriate to put in what they call this pack here, which is called the Total Synth Rack, which is based off of a lot of other synthesizer profiles like the Summit, the Ensoniq style sound, so forth and so on. So you're gonna find it in here, and I've got some like Waldorf style pads and all that. And so in each, and I'll get to that in a second. So let me go back to the R synth. So we still got the Jupiter style. Okay, and still got the sort of that JD based. Okay. And then the good old Phantom bass style sounds. Okay, so, and you can see there's a few sounds in here. So the VSynth now has been reorganized due to the memory constraints of the stability of the installer specifically, as I said earlier. So if you want me to go deeper into that topic, just leave a message below and we can go as deep as you want to go. All right, on this stuff. So that's the R synth, and that's so let's go back to the Korg Yamaha. So I'm just going to go through this real quickly. And so what I did on this one is obviously I moved the Korg Yamaha. So I've added this pack is sort of like a dual profile, Korg Yamaha. And what I did is I added about 10 more Triton style sounds. So if I load this sitar bass type of sound, it just loads like that, like the synth Rhodes, more of a synthesizer like FME, not really FME though. All right. And then sort of that weight, the vector. And then the AWM, which is more of that sample-based Yamaha style. Okay, so they're not super deep, and I'll explain why I didn't go heavy on the electric pianos and so forth. So if you're new to the channel, we'll get to that in a second. So now let's just go back to the Yamaha-based FM style. I had to have this. I use it a lot. If I load funk synth, again, these effects were programmed on here. They can take them off and change them. All right. Okay. So that's sort of the new organization of Yamaha. Okay. So again, 10 new sounds in the Triton bass sound profile, and then 21 new in the XV style profile again, as I said. So, and then the reorganization of moving the VSynth style sounds into the total synth rack. So let's go into the total synth rack real quick, and then we'll kind of move on from here. So K5000. Lead synths. Okay, and the whole idea is to be able to get the sounds pretty quick. 6 expansions, that's it. Synth bells. Here's this Novation Summit. So if you hear a sound, I can't believe I took all that time to make these sequences for these demos. It's actually a lot of work. So we got some synth bells here. I got some other synth bells in some of the other areas as well. Small and sonic style profile. And then here's that V-synth that I moved. So again, this is like a little Nord style tribute I did on my V-synth that I had. All right, so that's synth replay or total synth rack. Now, the bread and butter, right? So we'll go into crispy keys, and I'll kind of go this real quick. So this was a real fun sound. I call this MKS Grusin. It's a jazz, like contemporary jazz composer, film composer Dave Grusin. But this has that hybrid MKS RD. That's cool. This is now. So these are the heart and soul of like the electric piano. So some of these came from Roland bass stuff, custom sounds that I combined and resampled myself. So and then you got to have acoustic pianos and like Fender Rhodes style stuff. So if you want that old Mark V tines, it kind of has that Chronos-y style. Fender Rhodes. Okay, so that's key standard digital. And some of my favorite packs, these are all acoustic guitars and basses, basically. Okay, so if you want to get into humbucker guitars. Basses. Basically Stratocasters. So I love this Eric Johnson style. This was all influenced by Eric Johnson. More of a rock rhythm style, but again, I got some synth basses in here, and I got a thing called expressive bass, which offers a lot of the sounds that are in classic bass, but with a little bit more articulation on it. Okay. All right, so let's just go into the last pack. Kind of moving through this pretty quickly, but I want to kind of demonstrate that the whole object of this is so that you have choices, but you don't get lost into finding sounds, and so you can get pretty quickly to these. So we're gonna go into my favorite pack. These are my drum sounds. So I'll load Deluxe Fat. These are mostly acoustic that are in this particular bank. So, like a 70s style tight snares. Go back to... so this is more of an R8 style classic. Some more of some open acoustic style samples. What's cool is I went into here and I got some banks of crashes, hi-hats, some vault style libraries where you can get extra pieces and parts. And in percussion, it's kind of filled with not just percussion but electronic drums as well. So an 80s drum sound might sound like this. So a round robin style percussion that gives you different articulations on the same pad. And this takes advantage of some of the 3.0 based features that 2.0 doesn't have. So all right. All right. So all in all, the idea is to be able to just to get to the stuff quick. Okay. So as I navigate and start loading these, and just keep it record. Now I'm going to turn the preview audition off so it doesn't, and then I'll go to here, and we'll just keep it going. Let me see if I can find a cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load an acoustic guitar, which I didn't show earlier, but okay. And I'm going to load out of the D50 style sound a synth sound. We'll load. So I'll put the audition back on here. Forte float whistle. Load that to a new track. And we'll just kind of play, and that's the beauty of layering, by the way, and having everything sort of integrated. So I'll just record. And I haven't really gone into a whole lot of depth in terms of the options, but they're just all there. Let's pull up a and this is just more of an instrumental jazz thing, but you know, this is in standalone. Obviously, this is a controller, and I haven't really had to go out to any of the MPC actual plugins or any external plugins. As a matter of fact, I'm looking so much forward to the actual MPC desktop because these samples will load, I kid you not, in a second or two. It's so fast in my testings. So, can't wait till the official release comes out. However, we'll all be part of that public beta, which we're all looking forward to this month. So leave any questions or comments. I'll leave the link below if you're interested in any of these sounds. And thanks for coming by. And till next time, everyone, peace out.